I'm Marie Goy in Singapore, the headlines. The one-child policy may be over, but we reveal how China keeps a tight grip on family life.
Those few rare mothers who actually want a third baby, our investigation shows that the threats and intimidation continue.
Indonesia's trial of the century. A woman is jailed for putting cyanide into her friend's coffee.
I'm Kasia Madeira in London. Japan's Nissan says new car models will be built in Britain, ending fears of a Brexit pullout.
Our amazing First Lady, Michelle Obama!
No doubt about the star of the show. Michelle Obama's back on the Clinton campaign trail.
Live from our studios in Singapore and London. This is BBC World News. It's Newsday.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here in Singapore and midnight in London. 1 year ago, China announced the end of its infamous one-child policy. It was seen as a softening of China's approach to family life. But a BBC investigation had found harsh measures remain. In theory, all couples are now allowed to have 2 children. But we found that for women who want to have more than 2, the Communist Party's repressive system of birth control remains firmly in place. From Beijing, here's our China correspondent, John Sudworth.
Ding Yu had long given up on a second baby. But a year ago, the Communist Party removed the obstacle that stood in the way of the birth of this little girl, the one-child policy. We're lucky. I got pregnant right after the policy change, she tells me. China's obsession with birth control began under Chairman Mao. The one-child policy, though, came after his death, and over 4 decades, millions of forced abortions and sterilizations have been carried out in its name. Under the new 2-child policy, the fear lingers on. This man's wife has just given birth to their 3rd baby, and they're now in hiding. All local women have to do pregnancy examinations every 3 months, he tells me. If we weren't in hiding, they would have carried out a forced abortion. If they had come for your wife to carry out this forced abortion, would it have been possible to resist? Could you have refused? You can't resist, he says. There's too many of them. These recent pictures from state TV show the police still hunting down parents who failed to pay the fines for breaking the old one-child policy. Pretending to be pregnant with her 3rd child, a colleague calls a random selection of China's population control officers. We'll visit your home and persuade you to do an abortion, one official tells her. All insist there's no way to avoid paying the fine. As for the chance of a forced abortion, it's hard to say, this official replies. China's birth rate is now at such low levels it is threatening its economic future. The trouble is, despite the policy change, small families are now the cultural norm. 1 year on, China's hospitals are not full of women seizing the opportunity to have that second child. And yet the irony is, for those few rare mothers who actually want a 3rd baby, our investigation shows that the threats and intimidation continue. The Communist Party appears reluctant to give up control of one of the most basic human rights of all. John Sudworth, BBC News, Beijing.
Well, we're going to stay in China for our next